Good day, everybody. This is Chris. I hope you're doing well, doing whatever it is you may be doing. I'm out here. It's the middle of the night right now. I don't think any of these stars are getting picked up by my camera, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful, clear night. All I have is starlight illuminating things right now. I'm out in the Cook's Range, out kind of outside of Silver City, New Mexico, and I'm gonna bike a section of old Jeep roads called Fluorite Ridge. It starts at a mine. There are actually some old mining structures here in front of me, and then Fluorite Ridge over here. Of course, I don't think anything's showing up, and I'm gonna bike that. It's a several mile loop on old Jeep roads, and so I'm going to do that. And I just thought I would just make a quick video talking about doing this. And these night rides out here in the wilderness are some of the most challenging rides psychologically. There's a certain amount of terror and loneliness that you experience out here. It's such a foreign environment. And it's funny because it's so different during the day than at night. And most of it really is the internal psychology. It's what's going on inside of your head that makes all the difference. It's not that it's fundamentally different out here at night. It's just that the light that's available is in wavelengths that the human eye can't detect, and so you have this tunneling of your vision, which is, primarily all of our sensory information tends to be visual. That's just kind of how we evolved, and so now you have hearing and other senses take over, and it produces a real helpless, eerie kind of feeling. And then you add that on top of now I'm biking, and it's so challenging. And again, it's psychologically challenging. And it's just a really incredible experience. And to kind of add on to that, I've been out hiking all day. My wife and I went out hiking all day, and so I'm already kind of tired and sore. And now I'm going to do this ride in the middle of the night, but it's so beautiful underneath all of these stars. I'm really excited about being able to do this, and then hopefully I'll get a little bit of sleep before I've got a big group ride first thing in the morning up in Silver City on some of the trails. So get a little sleep and then do that, and then that'll be the end of my weekend. But I just wanted to make this video to kind of explain why people do the things they do. This may sound weird or crazy to some people. I'd come out here in the middle of the night and ride after I've hiked all day, and I'm dirty and tired and sore, and why do we do this? I don't have a great answer other than that there's just a beauty, an absolute beauty and reverence for this world that really comes to me out here on nights like this. When I'm alone with my thoughts and my fears, and my demons get exercised when I come out and really challenge myself. And even though it is really terrifying and hard while I'm doing it, once I'm done, it is a kind of character building exercise that is just profound and beautiful and wonderful, and really helps me appreciate who I am and kind of my place in the cosmos. And it's very contemplative and spiritual, and I feel like that's lacking in contemporary society, particularly maybe more urban societies, and people that don't get to do this or don't have the opportunity to do this. I really do feel like I'm lucky in that I'm able to do this, and not that any other lifestyle is more or less important or more or less relevant than mine. I don't want to come off as thinking that my way is the best way or anything like that, but boy, there really is something special to be gained by challenging yourself in these sorts of ways. So with that in mind, better turn on my torch here, and I'm gonna get out on the trail. and I'll see you guys hopefully in a couple hours. All right, take care and have fun doing whatever it is you may be doing. Here I am out just a couple miles up, about 2 miles up. Just topped off on one of the major climbs, and looking down on the first major ridge, down into the Mimbres Valley in between the Cooks Range and the Florida Mountains, and way off in the distance there you can see the lights of Deming, New Mexico. A little bit of comfort looking at those lights, but when I look at where I came from, it's just pure blackness, and I wish the stars would show up, but it's a clear night. It's fairly breezy out, and there are just stars everywhere. The night skies are beautiful when you get away from all the light pollution out here in New Mexico. There's a little light way off in the distance there. It looks like coming from a vehicle. There is a road down there that I'm actually gonna, the ridge over here to the right of me, which you probably can't even see, I'll traverse the ridge and then I'll drop down onto that road. But that light there, I suspect, is a little recreational vehicle or RV park called Hidden Valley Ranch, which is just a few miles away from me. And I suspect that's where that light is coming from, is that RV park there off in the distance. So I've got a couple more miles to go to get to the Fluorite Ridge proper, and then I'll be able to drop down a slightly technical descent back to the road, and I'll be able to take that back to where I started, down at what's known as the Greenleaf Mine. Kind of what's left of the Greenleaf Mine. It's long since been abandoned and in severe disrepair, but that's what we've got. It's just, like I said, it's just a terrifying feeling, being up here by myself, up in the mountains, and just alone with my thoughts. It can be a really, really terrifying thing, and you know, that monkey DNA of mine is just, every bit of that DNA is just screaming to me to get out of here, and to get with the rest of my kith and kin around the fire, and huddle around it and get through the night safely. Luckily, in contemporary times, I have a reasonably good chance of making it through this ride relatively unscathed, assuming I don't crash. I guess the only thing I'd really have to worry about up here would be big cats, mountain lions, which they're not as prevalent in the lower Cooks Range. It'd be mountain lions and coyotes for the most part tend to avoid human interaction, so I'm not as worried about them, but certainly a cat, big cat could certainly ruin my day. But anyway, you know, there I go thinking about those things. But you know, what an incredible experience to be able to live a life where I can come out here and do these kinds of things. All right, guys, we'll see you. I'm currently on top of the ridge. The wind has picked up significantly. It's gusting probably about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Maybe gusting to 25, maybe not quite that much. So it's been taking me a little longer to summit the ridge than I thought. You can see the lights of Deming, and then the Florida Mountains are behind that. And then as I pan out, way off in the distance, you really can't see it probably, but there are the lights of Columbus, New Mexico, and the Tres Hermanas Mountains, and then Mexico. So we're probably about 50 miles from the Mexican border as the crow flies where I'm at. Looking back here, you really can't see anything probably. Looking back towards Hatch, New Mexico. So we're probably about 50 miles as a crow flies from the Mexican border. And I guess a natural question would be, well, am I worried about running into people, illegal aliens, or banditos, or anything like that? And the answer to that is a resounding no. There's a lot of talk and hype about the border, and really that's all it is, a lot of talk and hype. Yeah, there is some illicit activity, mainly drug smuggling. And frankly, if we would just get away from drugs, we wouldn't have to worry about that. But this is not really a corridor, a significant corridor for migrant activity, because basically the interstate, I-10, is down there and runs through the Deming, and then there's the Columbus Road, and I think it's Highway 11 closer to the border. And basically when people cross, particularly Columbus, they try to set up a pickup either on the interstate, along or near the interstate. And so that's really the major corridor, is getting the interstate. We're north of that, and so there really aren't any good reasons for people to be up in this particular area, because they want to get to that interstate. They can access that, and then that will allow them to get to other places, either head up north or head west into Arizona, California. So yeah. Nah, if I die tonight, it'll either be because I wreck or a big cat gets me. Neither of which is particularly appealing, but boy, is it a beautiful. A little windy though, so I'm going to work on. I've got to cross the ridge now. I'm up on top, and I'll stay on top. I'll cross over, and then I'll head down and hit another Jeep road to take me back to Greenleaf Mine. All right, guys. Take care. Have fun doing whatever you may be doing. Okay. So this landmark pretty much lets me know that I've traversed the ridge. This is a really deep mine shaft for some of the mines that were in this area, the Greenleaf mines. So a real deep mine shaft lets me know that I've traversed the ridge, and I can't really see, but up over here there's a vista of Cook's Peak. It would be a beautiful vista during the day. Now it's just beautiful stars. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way here and pick up the trail, which drops down to a Jeep road, four-wheel drive road, down there. And then I will pass through a canyon and pick up another Jeep road, and then I will I'll head east on that to get back to where I'm staying, my little jump off area, if you will, out at the Greenleaf Mine wreckage, for lack of better words. My linguistic capabilities are somewhat stunted, and I think that's just because of the kind of the stress and a little bit of anxiety of being out here all alone. This is actually the very first time I've ever ridden this area at night. So I always have a little bit more anxiety whenever I do my a maiden voyage at night, particularly in real rough terrain like this, which isn't really a mountain biking trail per se, but just really old Jeep roads. And in fact, just to the north of me here, over this ridge line, little ridge line here, well, I'm on top of the ridge, but over this little hill here is a petroglyph, an ancient Indian petroglyph area called Pony Hills. So, you know, there's a little kind of a lonely, rustic, spiritual, ancient kind of spirit to this land that gets a little restless at night when you ride it. And so I'm probably feeling a little bit of that and projecting my own fears and demons on top of everything. But anyway, I just wanted to point this landmark out here, and we'll begin our descent through the little canyon. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next little video clip. Okay, I've gone through a gnarly descent behind me. It's a solid intermediate technical descent during the day. it's a bit more difficult during the night. And I cleaned most of it, ended up having to walk a couple of spots. Just, you have to be a bit more risk averse at night. And these two poles here were a fence long since rotted away. The ruins of the old mining structures, probably a throwback to that. This is the entrance to this canyon here. And this canyon goes for about another mile. Like I said, the most technical part of the trail is behind me, so now it'll get a little less rocky and a little more sandy. I've run into a couple of little foxes, or some ring-tailed foxes out here. They're fairly small, but they're really neat-looking creatures. They don't stick around long enough for me to get any good pictures, unfortunately, but still a really great experience. The wind has now died down now that I'm down off the ridge. I've got basically I'm surrounded by the mountains now, so I'm a little better protected. We'll see what happens when I transition through the canyon and I get back onto the Jeep road and start heading east. If the wind picks up, I suspect the wind will die down even more the further down in elevation I go. We'll see how it goes, but I did get the technical descent done with, and now it should be pretty decent going through the canyon. It still is a little scary because you're just surrounded by the mountains on either side of you. Okay, guys, we'll see ya. Sorry, I thought I heard something kind of walking behind me, probably just rocks or bugs or something. Anyway, we'll see you guys when I get down there. Maybe I'll do another update. All right, take care. All right, so we've made it down out of the canyon, just about 6 miles in, a little over an hour of riding, and I'm now back onto the Jeep road, and I'm now going to head east for a little while, and that will connect into Greenleaf Mine Road, and I should be able to take that back to my starting area. So it's pretty much going to be smooth sailing from here on out. You can see the lights of Deming off in the distance there. I'm pretty much in line with the city now that I'm down out of the mountains proper under a beautiful starry night. Yeah, it's really hard to probably see anything on the camera, unfortunately, but it's a gorgeous night, and as I suspected, the wind has died down even more. It's really beautiful, so I should probably expect 2 or 3 more miles of riding, so I should be done here fairly quickly. And maybe I'll just do a quick wrap-up video when I get back to my starting area. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed these videos and have maybe had a little bit of laughter at my expense, my anxieties and my fears kind of come out. But again, this is just such a spiritual experience, and I really get to come out here and really get to confront my demons, quote unquote, and exercise the hell out of them. And that really does, I think that those challenges really do help me out, and it's almost like a rite of passage in some way, and maybe it almost feels like these kinds of things are lacking in contemporary society. I don't know, maybe they're different, maybe the rite of passage is different now than some extreme physical, mental thing that you go through. But boy, there really is something that just feels really important about going out and doing these kinds of things, even if I do get a little, it's a little boundary dissolving, and I do get a little frightened, and I revert back to a younger, less mature Chris as I exercise those demons. But anyway, thanks for sticking around and checking these out if you made it this far. All right, guys. take care. Have fun doing whatever you're doing. All right. Well, we're down just under 10 miles total, and a little less than an hour and a half. You know, that doesn't include all the little stops I made to make these little videos. So, you know, maybe a little closer to 2 hours, but approximately an hour and a half of riding. And here's some of the ruins of Greenleaf Mine. I don't know. This may have been maybe an administrative building or living quarters. Let me move over here. There we go. And there's some where there were some buildings there, and then there's a little concrete foundation right here in front of me. And I don't know if you can see, there's some structures way over here off in the distance, and then the side looks like there's some remnants of structures over here off in the distance a little bit, and a little bit there as well. And then maybe we can see this. We'll find out. Let me take my light, and way up there off in the distance there's another structure, and then there are the hills behind us here where the mine used to be, and some other mine ruins as well. So made it back. Pretty cool. Just a wonderful ride. I made it through, and really was able to kind of push myself through and kind of work through the anxiety and the doubt and some of the fear that I have. You know, and it's just all it is. It's just simply fear for the sake of fear. You know, it's there as obviously as a protective mechanism, but you know, working through it, I think is really beneficial. It really helps me out in many other aspects of my life. So I was glad I was able to share this experience with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Probably not a whole lot to see, unfortunately. I just wish I could show you how beautiful the night skies are out here in the southwestern United States. They're gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna put my bike up and try to get a little bit of sleep, because it's looking like I've got a big group ride ahead of me in the morning. And then after that, I got to head back home and get ready for my work week. Now go back to being a working class stiff for the 4 or 5 days, and try to rinse and repeat the weekend and do my regular rides, night rides now after work. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great night or day or evening or afternoon or whatever. Just have a great time doing whatever it is you may be doing, and you all take care. And I'll see you around.